Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and we're going to take a look at the technology side of things. This is going to be for the Empire. So, the technology tree is like this, and it's not very much of a tree actually. It doesn't follow the linear path that we're used to. You kind of have these different subsets here and there where you upgrade levels 1, 2, and 3. Some of them are going to be linked and tied to one another, but it seems like for the most part you can really pick and choose what you want. So now we're going to go ahead and just go over some of the main ones that they showed off and dive into the stats. So the first one is improved heavy weapons. Weapon strength goes up 5% for great swords, for halberds, and for lances. So we're not quite sure what weapon strength means. If you look on the stat line on the right for the great swords, you can see weapon strength there. A couple things tacked onto it. We were wondering previously what those little things, the icons were next to the weapon strength. Still not sure what that is, but perhaps it's tied to the technology that you've upgraded. State Troop Sergeant is going to be something that gives you +2 unit experience for new infantry recruits. I was hoping that State Troop Sergeants would be somehow tied to the recruitment of state troops, or maybe even free company, but it doesn't seem like any of these technologies necessarily equate to the new units. They seem to be more geared towards upgrades. State Troop Standards and State Troop Musicians. So for this one, the Standards is Leadership +3 for Empire Infantry units and +5% for Empire Infantry unit movement speed. Some of the quotes here seem to indicate that you would see something. So for example, for the Standards, it says, as regiments gain renown, their standards become talismans that are just as important as their sword arms. Now that's really cool. The Magicians talks about marching, keeping the pace and all that. What that would seem to indicate, would be like, oh wow, if you unlock this, then you get actual standard bearers and in the battlefield and musicians. However, CA has explicitly said that this is not the case. They did say previously that battle standards, and I'll quote them, as mentioned at EGX, there will be the opportunity to unlock earn steel magic banners for your armies. However, it's worth pointing out that these will be indicated in battle through a gloriously embellished banner indicator above the unit who has it equipped. There are currently no plans to include actual standard bearers as physical models / units within the game. We took the decision that we'd rather spend the time needed to animate the models, all those different combinations of races and troops, and make more units and characters instead. So we're not going to see little fifers and customized banners on the battlefield itself, which is rather unfortunate. Hopefully they have something generic. I don't think it particularly has to be customized just yet, but I was hoping for some generic standards. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. This is definitely something that CA has considered because of time constraints. But once the game is released, I hope that they will work it into some of the free DLC and patch updates. This is definitely something that would add a lot of flavor. Next technology is going to be Draft Irregulars, and we're not doing these in any particular order. This is just kind of the order that CA glossed over them, so we didn't get to see all of them. But Draft Irregulars means -5% upkeep for all Empire units. So Draft Irregulars, a ready supply of fresh professional troops isn't always possible, so drafting in Irregulars can keep numbers up. Like I said, I was hoping to have this tied to recruitment of free company units, which are supposed to be just that, the Irregulars. But that technology did not seem to indicate that. Supply wagons here, army recruitment capacity +1 for all provinces, global recruitment capacity +1. The global recruitment mechanic, I believe, is when you have an army on the march and you can recruit from the global pool, but it does have, I think, a cost adder and a time adder, but it allows you to have units recruited in the field even though you're outside of your own or friendly provinces. So that's interesting. And then lastly, the state, or not lastly, there'll be a couple more, but this is state issued weapons. Again, +5, or yeah, wait, did we already cover this? Anyways, this is going to be for the spears and swords. No, this is different, I think. But yeah, again, just little buffs you can do to your units. I was really hoping that these technologies would be tied to unlocking certain units, which some of them are. But each faction, remember, functions differently. So the green skin technology tree is much more geared towards improving units and unlocking units, whereas the Empire one is more about upgrading existing units. And the way you're going to unlock your units is going to be done through the building tree itself. So I really like how those are vastly different. Just how each faction, or sorry, each race takes on technology and unit unlocking and things like that. It'll definitely shake it up. Here, the armor for the light cavalry applies to pistoliers and outriders. So the pistoliers here on the right, you can see has an armor of 30, no icon above it. I don't know if once you get this upgrade it then puts on that shield icon that we've been talking about previously, but then again, as some of you have noted, the shield icon presumably just means that you have shields. That is going to be the main ones that CA glossed over. Now let's go ahead and look at, the ones they didn't. So for example, we could go down to the Imperial Harbor one, which has the fishing fleet, mercantile fleet, and sea charts. So we do know that we won't be able to have individual battles. You can't play sea battles yourself, but they will be auto-resolved, so maybe that can help your fleet out in terms of military capabilities, but it looks like fishing fleet and mercantile fleet is more geared towards the economics of it. Temple of Sigmar you can push forward, Purge Dark Cults, probably to keep down Vampiric and Chaos Corruption, Divine Sanction and Ecclesiastical Writ. I'm eager to see what those do. Engineers Workshop, Veteran Gunners, Imperial Architects, and Firing Drills. Now that could just give you buffs to your units, but again, I'm really hoping that Veteran Gunners will unlock something like the Null Gunnery School and allow you to recruit special units. CA has yet to indicate that. It seems like we're going to get the units that have been released so far, but there is always hoping. What else do we have in here? Menagerie, Knightly Preceptors, Reichsguard Standard Bearers, and the Inner Circle. So they're perhaps pushing towards the cavalry. Maybe we'll see knightly orders pop out of that. It does not seem to be the case. So all indications here, no unit of new rosters. Like I was saying, all indications of this kind of point towards the unit roster that we see now being the final one, and that technology doesn't really push us towards new units, just some tweaking. So future units like the knightly orders will maybe have to be free LC and whatnot, or maybe even DLC. We'll have to wait and see for more results. Anyways, I figured since we were talking about the Empire, I would go ahead and tie in this Karl Franz trailer, a little bit of it at the end, just so we can get a look at the Empire troops close up and personal. Now remember, this was a while back. Presumably they will have been made more colorful now that we are further along in development. But yeah, definitely looking glorious. The more I see of this game, the more excited I get. And yeah, especially on this latest video, I noticed people gave it a lot more likes than it usually gets. So hopefully people, I don't want to say people are getting over the Chaos DLC, but they're definitely finding stuff to be excited about. I'll put it that way. Which is always good. This game shows great promise when we have to hold CA's feet to the fire, but that doesn't mean we can't rejoice when they come up with really great news, which is what we've seen so far with this release video. A lot of great stuff presumably coming out of it. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for breaking these up into multiple parts, but otherwise a single video would be too long. See you in the next one. Peace out.